And away we go. Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the Big Freaking Friday Show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown, a little wounded, so I'm going to see how I can do tonight. But with me carrying all the extra slack would be Moen and Wild Ute. How you guys doing?
What's up? How y'all doing? Happy Friday.
Moen, can you hear us?
I can hear you. It's just a little disjointed. We're having internet troubles.
All
But
right.
Thank you very much.
It's because you live in by West Virginia or something. They're
Yeah.
DDoSing you is what I think. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. It is Friday night, so it's going to be laid back. We're going to do our top 25 projections and kind of what that would look like with the college football playoff at the end of the season. Hopefully we can have some other members of the team. We're expecting at least Rock and Rant to join us in here in about 20 minutes. And I'm hoping Sergeant Pickles might be able to make an appearance. But regardless, we have the picks, and we're going to go through that exercise tonight. On top of that, we'll go through the news first, make sure everybody's touched and understands kind of the stuff that, we cover that heartbeat as much as possible. And then, of course, at the end of the show, we'll do the world-famous College Football Mafia Network Q&A to finish the show. So before we get started, you or Moen, anything you want to start with tonight?
Go ahead, Moen.
The king is gone, but he's not forgot.
The hair is good. I like the hair. How about you?
I'm just excited that football's only about a week and a half away, right? Less than 2 weeks away.
Yep.
Like on that Thursday. So, man, we're so dang close and stuff. You can just feel the energy building and everything, right? With all of our teams. Everyone's optimistic, so we're almost there.
It is happy season, isn't it? Everybody's undefeated, and everybody can win the championship. You got to love that feeling. Anywhere from Boise to Tuscaloosa and everywhere in between. So appreciate everybody being here tonight. Make sure you follow us all on Twitter. You can see right there under our pictures. Those are our Twitter addresses and names. Feel free to leave a comment or a suggestion. We read those. We pay attention. We do adjust our shows and our reporting based on suggestions that you guys give us. So don't ever think you're out of the process. We're here for you, not the other way around. And then lastly, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and give us a thumbs up. Let us know how we're doing. And that's, everybody knows that's really important. Moen, why don't you talk about becoming members of the College Football Mafia family?
Sure. You can become a member by selecting join right next to the subscribe button if you're on desktop. If you're on a mobile platform, you can head on down there and give us a hunk of burning love by clicking on the cash icon and selecting become a member. You can gift a membership like Ricky Tungate has. You can leave a super chat. Super chats go to New Whiskey.
Ooh.
Single malt.
Well, some of it does.
Whoa, Moen, what is that?
Some of it does.
This is new. This is Crown Royal Single Malt. I will try this on the show tonight.
Man,
you guys are freaking alcoholics. Anyway, Moen, we got right out of the gate, we got one gifted membership. What about that?
That's right. Ricky Tungate gifted a membership to the College Football Mafia, and that membership went to Matthew Castleton. Matthew, make sure you tell him thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it so much. You want to give him a sounder first, right out of the gate? Let's give him something he can talk about with his friends.
Sure. Let's see.
He needs some milk.
What the hell is that?
He needs some milk.
I don't even know what that is.
Moen, that's a beautiful thing right there.
More milking. Got to keep
More
milking.
milking.
Who got that membership? Let's see. I can do that part. That would be Matthew Castleton. If Moen already said it, I'm just saying it again. Congratulations. If you do happen to receive a membership or you get a membership from somebody else, make sure, one, you thank them, and two, consider paying it forward and giving other people memberships. That's how we keep this buggy on the tracks, and it's worked successfully up to now. So we appreciate everybody that does that. There are paybacks when you're a member. We have member-only shows. We obviously have our library of Wild Ute and other videos that make you the smartest guy at the water cooler. And then finally, you're part of the best club on YouTube. Anyway, thank you very much, Ricky. We appreciate it. And right out of the gate, we got two from Mark Bowman. Let's first get his comments. $10 super chat. I'm sending this early because I will be watching Caitlin Clark's WNBA game. I bet you that'd be fun. Iowa's scrimmage report equals defense and kicking game very good.
Sheesh.
Running game good. Offensive line good. So let's take these. There's two of them. Let's take this one and do it by itself. What do you think about those observations?
I think they're right on. The Iowa Hawkeyes are going to be one of the premier teams. We're not talking about them much. They're showing up barely in the top 25. Very favorable schedule. This defense is absolutely loaded. This might be Kirk Ferentz's last year. I mean, he's really kind of getting to the end of this thing. So I think Iowa's very similar to Utah this year, where they could be college football playoff contention for sure. And nobody's talking about these guys. Everyone assumes that the offense is going to be horrible. Makes sense. The defense is going to be stout. Kicking obviously is looking good. Running's looking better. So I think you got to watch out for the Hawkeyes this year.
Moen?
Yeah, this does not bode well for Iowa because their main issue last year was they couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah. This is very much 3 yards in a cloud of dust type offense for
Well,
sure.
guess what? People are going to stack the box, and then what are you going to do?
Right. All right. Well, I don't know.
Wishbone.
Let's go to his other comment, and maybe we can clear it up here. Mark, again, for $10 super chat. By the way, Mark, so much we appreciate your super chats and your membership in the Mafia family. We really appreciate that. Running game good. Ohio native Caleb Johnson was very good. Passing game below average. Nobody's shocked about that, I don't think. QB1 McNamara below average. That maybe is a surprise. QB2 Sullivan average. So, again, how do you recruit all these other players, but you can't get a quarterback? That makes no sense to me.
Well, Kate McNamara was very highly recruited coming out of high school.
That's why I was surprised. That's what I'm saying.
I love this write-up, too, that Mark gives us, too. Like the first, super chat was all about the good stuff. Then it just lands right here.
That's true.
Passing game below average. There we go. Just throwing it out there, being really honest about it. Hey, if the passing game's below average, then let's expect that. You know what? I still think this team's could be special, though, even though the passing game, it might not even throw for 125 yards a game.
Yikes. So I'm a fan of the Seattle Seahawks, and defense wins championships, but the NFL is not college football. So in the NFL, everybody's pretty much even. The wins and losses are not separated very far in the playoffs. In college football, it's a little different. Let's see here. All right, well, let's get to some shout-outs. I'll try to get to some news. Pickles, I'm just going to leave you in the background if that's okay. Don't be mad at me. We're going to do the top 25 when Rock and Ran joins. All right, let's start with the first guy in the house. Buckshot Kid always seems to be there. Oh, hey, at the College Football Mafia. Thank you so much, Buckshot Kid. Timothy Green in the house, representing West Virginia, member of the Mafia family, says, why not have G5 tournaments? I think it's a great idea. Let's get ready for another great show, y'all. Okay, I'm going to address this right now. We talked about a G5 playoff last summer. We talked about it. And I just need to get an AI tool that'll help me search and find the videos. But we did it in several different shows. And it's not like we were predicting the future, except for maybe we kind of were. What did you guys think about that notice that came out the other day that negotiations are starting?
For this G5 tournament, I think it's a great idea as long as the G5, the number one G5 team, goes to the actual college football playoff.
Right.
Don't give that up. Don't give that access up, because once that's gone, nobody gives a crap.
Absolutely.
Seriously, let's be honest about it. If it's like the NIT, not many people are more people than zero are going to watch, more people than bowl games, but it's not going to get a lot of eyeballs on it. It's better than nothing, though. Just don't give up that real playoff spot, though. So I guess it's a good thing for them, but I do wonder how many players are going to play in this type of tournament without wanting to sit out for injuries or if they're a possible pick. So we'll see.
What about incentivizing them? Giving them money to show up and play the actual bowl game or the playoff games?
It depends on how much you can get.
Okay.
Like for an NIT level playoff, you wonder really what kind of media partner is going to throw out there for that,
right?
Especially with more college football playoff games going on at the same time and the NFL and everything else. NBA is going on in December, so I'm just not sure what that can yield. Sure, you give a little cut to the players, but I just don't think it's going to be that substantial. It's still a better idea than bowl games. To be honest about that. So it's better than bowl games, but not much better. It still needs a little bit more juice. I don't know. Like the NIT, when I think of the NIT, I think of like a snooze fest.
Right.
For basketball. Even when the Utes are playing in the NIT, I don't watch the games. Like, I'm not a huge basketball fan anyway, but still, like, you need to play for something significant. And if they can make this significant, then maybe it changes things.
I appreciate that opinion, certainly. Moen, do you want to say anything to that?
Yeah, I remember the exact episode you said it in.
Well, give me the episode name and we'll freaking.
Oh, I was wearing a costume and drinking whiskey.
Okay.
So
My hell. Thanks for the help.
well, I just trying to help you out, brother.
Yeah, you didn't help me at all. All right. Let's see here. Nathan says, hi, guys. Good to see you, Nathan. Joaquin Morales always in, giving good comments. Hey, Mo and Wild Ute, Bomber, Rock and Rant, and College Football Mafia family, don't forget to smash the like button. It's free, and it makes Moen happy. Smash it. And Joaquin, I would like to tell you, we're going to talk more ASU. It won't be necessarily tonight, but we need to feature Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado in an upcoming episode and really talk about what the step up is going to be competing in this different conference. So we're going to cover that. I know you were upset with us the other day on our ratings, but that doesn't mean we put any value less on the schools. I wanted to say that. I'm not sure I made that clear during the show. Skaven, yes. Another member says, hello, gentlemen. I love all these members, guys.
Heck yeah.
Stephen Moser, another member, says, Boulain Law. What's that mean?
Boulain. In the AI thumbnail I did, I kept telling it to put a Tulane player in there.
Oh,
and it kept spelling the name Boulain.
Okay.
So yeah, it's Boulain versus Boise State on that.
Okay. He also follows that up with that kid from Boulain looks angry. He plays for a pretend college. Wow.
Yeah, AI has trouble with words, guys.
Shots fired. Big Lubbock's in. He says he's 7th. Good to have you here, Lubbock. Hey, everybody, go Knowles. That's TF Williams, another member. Daniel Gygax, a true OG in the house. Mr. Ed Wayner also. Hello, all. Good to see you guys. John Dry. It's good to see you here. Hi, all. Guns up. That's okay. Wait, somebody remind me, is that Texas Tech?
That's Texas Tech.
Okay, I just want to make sure I get it right. Good to have you here, John. Texas Tech's fantastic school. Represents Big 12 very, very nicely. Sergeant Pickles, there's a partner. He's going to be with us when we go over our picks here in a few minutes. He says, good evening, all. Let's see here. Daniel Gygax says it's Elvis. So Becky Go Husky says, hello, everybody. Another contributor on the College Football Mafia Network. Antoine Codes, another ASU fan. Hello, ASU haters. See, he's honest. He's not going to let us get away with that stuff. I appreciate that. Thank you for calling us out, Antoine and Joaquin, both of you guys. Dallas Marquez, hello, everyone. Good to have you here, Dallas. Conundrum checking in, saying Los Ipensa told the Utes to get stuffed. Go Hawks. What is
Conundrum? That's a low blow today after you won that recruiting battle over the Utes. So.
Oh, okay.
I don't appreciate that one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the offensive lineman, right?
He's a defensive lineman.
Defensive lineman. Okay.
Yeah, and his brother went to Iowa, and he's a total stud. He plays in the pros now, and Utah was in the mix, but Hawkeyes beat him out.
I did track
it's a good win.
Mr. Monkey says, did you guys look at the brand value estimator I explained in a comment on your last live video show? I didn't catch that. Did you catch that?
I didn't see it. No.
Can you write that down? Make that a note, and we'll track down that in the comments, and maybe we can get back to it next week. Brand value estimator. It was a comment on the video, I guess. Right, Monkey? Anyway, or you can post a link in the comment section here too, Monkey. It would just give us the link and we'll take a look at it. Illini Ted, a week from today, it's like Christmas Eve. Happy weekend. I know.
Whoop. Happy
Cannot
weekend.
Wait. Getting down here, Jeff Morgan, West Virginia, in the house. Watching you guys are pretty good. Go Mountaineers. I like this. Watching you guys are pretty good. What do you guys think about that? That's a great compliment.
Hey, you know what? I'll take it. Thank you, Jeff.
Especially from new people. Thank you very much, Jeff. Yeah, reach out to us, and all of you people right now, 50 people watching this live, all you guys reach out to us on Twitter. Let us know how we're doing. Give us your ideas and stuff. We definitely track that. David Frames says federal judge delayed ESPN venue. We're going to cover that in just a second. From opening Fubo TV case. That's just 3 minutes away, and I'll get to that, David. Illini Ted said we'll never get sick of the milking dance remix. Moen, you got it, Moen. You got it. He's asking for it.
Sucking you. They've been sucking you, and sucking you.
I love it.
They've been sucking you.
That's how we do it.
And sucking you. You're sick of it. I get it. They've been sucking you.
That's the best.
You, and sucking you. They've been sucking you, sucking you. And
Thank you
sucking
so much, Moen.
Sucking you, and sucking
Uh,
you. Oh, Mo, not again, please.
Sorry, I was trying to pause it.
Hi, all. I'm just trying to get to the end of these so we can get to some of these other comments. David Frame, I did. I don't want to miss anything big. Expedition Greg, always great with Twitter comments and a member. Thank you very much, Greg. Right here now, Lonnie Johansson in the house, checking in. BYU, go, go. Good afternoon,
go.
Northeast Kansas. Go
Give
BYU.
me
Go Big 12.
Student athletes. That is brilliant, sir.
I love that. That's very, very good. ALC, 46 people here, only 16 likes. Come on, ALC, get them out there for us. Stormy Cyclone says, Bomber, nice to see you in good health. Not only G5 players in danger of being plucked, it's the coaches because of the new rule.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. That is true. I hadn't thought about that, but you're exactly right, Stormy. That's exactly right. Quick health update on me. I go under the knife next Thursday, and then I'm going to be off for a bit. So catch me next week on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I'll be gone for a little bit. But thank you very much, Stormy. I appreciate all your support. Nathan Campbell. Nate, do you guys think the Big 12 gets sponsors for all sports? I say yes. You?
Yeah, absolutely. For all sports, that's pretty genius right there, Nathan. For every single one of them, who cares? Sponsor everything, stick logos on everything, get money. I don't care if it's a nickel at a time, get more money, do it. We can't afford to be picky as Big 12 members. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. Every penny, need it all. Replica says, Bomber, what are your thoughts on the Seahawks this season? The defense looks really good so far. They need a quarterback. It's just like BYU. All the people I cheer for always need a quarterback and always want to do good on defense. It's crazy. My luck. Anthony Eason, I think this 12-team playoff format will produce more marquee out-of-conference games during the season in the future. Teams can lose them and still get in if they win their conference. What do you think? That's an interesting. I like that thought experiment. What do you think about that? Out-of-conference games.
The talk is actually that the exact opposite will happen. That less marquee games will happen because of the larger size, the bloated size of the SEC and the Big Ten. And so really, how do you incentivize somebody to play a tough out-of-conference matchup when really it's all going to be about what you do in conference there? It perhaps could be, but the talk and the chat has been the opposite way. But on the other hand, if it goes to 16 teams, then this certainly is the case. It's going to be all about out-of-conference and stuff to get at-large spots, but we're not there quite yet. So not the 12-team, but the 16-team, 100%. And I think it's moving to 16 teams in a couple of years here.
Moen?
I think no, with conferences becoming stronger, you can't afford a loss because you're more than likely to take a loss in the conference. So you're going to get rid of some of these marquee out-of-conference games like USC is going to do with Notre Dame. You want to schedule soft ones like Syracuse and Georgia Tech.
Awesome.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers. It's a great idea and thought. Definitely on Twitter, I've engaged with a ton of people about these ideas. Get into it. It's okay to dust it up and have a conversation, even a debate. Just don't get personal. That's where we all tune out and you lose your thought process. All right. Right now, the time is, and I apologize, we're going to get to the venue sports thing after we talk about the top 25 because my team is all in the house. So I'm going to bring in right now Sergeant Pickles and Rock and Rant. Rock and Rant, can you hear me?
Rock and Rant.
I can.
All right, sweet. So we're going to do this a little disjointed. Do you want me to bring it up? You want me to bring up the slide you created and go from there, you think?
We can do that. I have it if you need it.
Well, I mean, I think, let me bring what I got up, and then you can tell me if it's the right one. This one. There we go. All right.
No, not that one. Not that one.
This one? Oh,
nope.
Which one then?
Hold on.
The other one.
The top 25.
I thought that
I got it.
I grabbed
That
the wrong
wasn't
one.
it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I got it.
I grabbed the long link. That's my bad driving. While you're looking for that, let me get to the super chat from Trent Brown, who's my brother. No, he's not, but that's my brother's name. $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Just dropped $900 on my teenage daughter's Ford Focus as she starts the school year. What's $5 more in Trent? Happy Friday. Thank you so much, Trent.
Oh, man.
That's one of the best super chats we've ever
Let
had.
him cook. Let him cook.
Moen, let him cook.
Let him cook.
There we go.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Oh, thank you so much, Trent. Really, really appreciate it. All right. Now we've got it up because I picked the wrong one. Let's go through this from top to bottom. Rock.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the biggest takeaway is that there's not a lot of difference between us and the AP top 25. It's marginal here or there. We had I think outside of the top 25, the like maybe 13 or 14 more teams between all of us that had at least a vote, are outliers.
Right.
Nate's a little bit more of the wild card in all of this. He's but he's making some big bets if he were actually making bets. But I think to me, just the take is for all of us is that whether it's ours or AP or anybody else, there's a lot of consensus about the top 4, the top 10. And it just seems more so than any year I can remember lately. And perhaps the craziest time in college football in our lives, there still seems to be a consensus around the top of it.
So we did. Let's just be clear and tell everybody who picked this. This is our team, the College Football Mafia Network team. That's Rock and Rant. That's Sergeant Pickles, and obviously Becky Go Huskies. You're getting in your pickles. What are your thoughts about the way this turned out? I know you're the stats guy when it comes to football.
Yeah, I made it very clear to you guys, and I put it on record that I think preseason polls are really stupid, and I hate them with a passion. You can hear my son chiming in the background. Yeah, he hates preseason polls as much as I do, but we all kind of agreed, I think, that these are where we see people finishing, not where we think they deserve to start the season. Right. That's pretty foolish to me. I think it pretty much panned out. What? Sorry. Yeah, my son's a little distracted.
Live TV. Here we go.
Yeah, I think it pretty much panned out where I would expect. Hey, hold on, buddy. I think there were a few teams that we kind of were in agreement about, including Auburn and Alabama.
Right.
Specifically, like I'm looking at my personal one here. I only had 2 Big 12 teams in the top 25. And that's I don't want anyone to take personal offense to that. It's mostly because I see the Big 12 kind of beating each other up over the season. It'll be massively entertaining games, but I think it might be a little self-defeating from the Big 12 specifically. But Can I
chime in on that? I think that's a little Pac-12 PTSD. You guys are feeling that, and I think Ute has the same idea. As you guys went through that for season after season after season, never being in the playoffs, and you felt like you were feeding on yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's not unfounded though, because that definitely happens certain seasons. And we're not the only ones saying the Big 12 is going to be super competitive top to bottom. You get 1 or 2 upsets, and your chances of getting a second team in the playoff are really, really difficult from the Big 12's position.
But the other thing, like when you were mentioning Auburn. So the way we did this, and you can criticize it, and maybe you would or somebody else is, if somebody on our team put somebody at number 1 on the top 25, that got 25 points. If you put them at number 25, they only got 1. So Auburn is fairly high up here, but that is a Sergeant Pickles and Bomber going to dinners special because nobody else has them on.
Yeah,
right?
A lot of mine with Auburn, and I'll defend myself. You can call me a hater because of DeBoer and what happened, but I think Alabama's going to take a step back, including losing the Iron Bowl. That's why I have Auburn up there.
Yeah, so they have them very high in the top. I think you both have them in the top 10.
Top 15, not quite 10. Yeah.
But nobody else has them on of the rest of the team.
All right.
I'm not even sure I've got Auburn in the top 10 in the SEC, so we are way off here, like with Auburn. It's just like up and down one, right?
They're making their bets, You're taking your big bets. If you're putting in the top 10, it's got to be weighted some way, right? It's not just like a point for a participation trophy kind of thing.
All right, so let's just put some organization around this. Let's work backwards. Let's do the first 5: Louisville, Texas A&M, USC, Oklahoma State, Auburn. How does everybody feel about that? Anybody really, up in arms about any of those ratings?
I think Auburn guys are drinking.
Meaning what? You have to explain it. You can't just say it. Tell us what you mean.
Well, even my dog thought you guys are crazy, which why my dog was barking. He's like, Auburn, no way. I just don't see that team. Like, I'm not sold that Hugh Freeze is doing anything and turning that around. I think that they're having a good offseason right now in terms of, possibly landing some recruits here and there. So I'm not writing them off. I'm just not ready to see a team that blew a game against Alabama they had in hand to suddenly turn it around this year to be worthy of that when 2 better teams just joined the SEC without looking at everybody's schedule at the moment. That's kind of my take. I just don't see them there.
Anybody else have a strong opinion about any of those picks?
USC, they're not going to end up the 23 team in the nation. They shouldn't be there in the preseason. They've got no depth at all. They're going to get absolutely crunched in the Big Ten. So they should be an unranked team. Yeah, seriously, guys. Like, USC has skill position players. They've got a decent quarterback, really good wide receivers. That's how they've been for years and years and years. Going into the Big Ten is going to be rough. They're going to eat a bunch of losses this year.
So let me set the paradigm here. I think some people they didn't hear the way it was explained. This is not a preseason poll. This is not a preseason poll. This is a finish the season top 25.
Finish the regular season top 25.
So all these comments from Steve and Timothy are basically, I need you guys to understand, we're not talking about where they start today. We're talking about where they finally end up in the CFP playoff ratings, right? The CFP
this is where we think they're heading.
25.
Yeah, this is where we think they're going to be the day that the committee's doing their meetings, right? And that means that you could be an ACC champion, be lower rated, you're still getting a top 4 seed. This is not, we will publish what we think the playoff's going to look like in the coming days.
All right, very good. So let's just keep going. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Let's do the next. Let's go Iowa, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Miami. I'll give my opinion on this one. I think that Iowa maybe is a little low. I have Iowa. Where do I have Iowa in mine? Holy crap. I didn't even have Iowa on my pick, so don't lean on me. I think that's too low. What do you guys think about Iowa?
I think it's just right for Iowa. Sitting right there at 19. Like, yeah, they might be 5 spots up or 5 spots down, but they're going to be right hugging that 19-20 spot probably all season. So I feel comfortable with that.
Okay. Anybody else? How about Kansas State or Tennessee?
I got a real quick couple things. I noticed a certain purple W is missing, but that's okay. I'll forgive you guys for that. I'm actually surprised to not see the presumed G5 champion in here because I had Boise at 22. I think whoever is that G5 slot's they're gonna end up in the top 25. I know that it's kind of a fool's errand trying to guess which one. My other thing is I had Iowa, spoilers, they made my CFP. They just barely snuck in, so I think they're poised to have a really good season.
Yeah. I like Kansas State.
Yeah.
I think Kansas State's going to be really, really strong. They're going to fight for the top 12. Sorry, for the Big 12 championship with Utah and Oklahoma State for sure, maybe even West Virginia. So, but picking a final 25 though is so difficult because you have to imagine these schools are playing each other during the season too. Mm-hmm. So how they fit in the national, isn't that right, Ute? I mean, that's the difficulty.
That's the difficulty. And when you're looking at a team like Oklahoma, who has a crazy difficult schedule, like, are they going to end up in that 17 spot? They're certainly like top 17 talent wise, like no doubt about that. But are they going to end up at that 17 spot at the end of the season if they eat 4 losses?
Yeah, I have one comment going backwards to what Pickle said. So to be clear, when you watch Big Ten Mafia tomorrow night, always remember that Becky's the most honest one because she doesn't have Washington in her top 25, and Pickles is giving us crap, and he ranked them 24.
I had him 24.
I don't have Washington in my top 25 either.
So he's acting like, we all gypped him. His own team, he barely even made, he almost was the other part of the teams also getting votes section of this. So
Yeah. I wear
go ahead.
purple glasses. I'm not going to put them number one.
By the way, we never said we're reporters. We can have our opinions. Who cares, right? I realized what I did on mine, and I would have to apologize. We're not going to go back and retabulate. I have Iowa. Actually, I have Florida at 14, and that was supposed to be Iowa. So.
Oh, goodness.
You put Florida at 14, Bomber?
No, it was supposed to be Iowa. I'm telling you, I screwed up.
So we're saying that Florida got lodged into this data at 14?
They did. I actually have Billy Napier getting fired after the UCF game. So
hold on, I'll tell you exactly what that would change. You guys keep going. I'll tell you what happens.
Moen, you haven't said anything the first 10 we've talked about. Anything strong?
Yeah, Michigan is underrated.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't think they're number 14. Miami, I think Miami's a little underrated too. I think Oklahoma's overrated. I don't see Oklahoma having a good season this year. I really don't. Iowa is underrated.
Okay.
And I don't know why Auburn's on there.
I'm not sure why everyone thinks that Michigan's like a top 7-8 team this year with all that talent they lost on offense, with Harbaugh gone, with all this stuff swirling around Sharon Moore. There's no way that I'd feel comfortable with putting Michigan in the top 5 to 7. I think 14 is a perfect place for Michigan.
Yeah. I think that's their mid-table as well.
It's my fault. I had them at 17.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think Iowa's going to shoot way up there as part of that trade. So,
everybody talking about Notre Dame. We're going to get to them in just a minute.
And Nate, just FYI, if we fix your delusional moment of Billy Napier actually being in the top 25, you're only moving Iowa up one spot ahead of where it is.
Okay,
they would leapfrog Kansas State, but they would not get past Oklahoma.
All right, I apologize, guys. That was my bad.
It's all good.
All right, let's do the next 5. Let's go Michigan, Clemson, Missouri, Utah, and Florida State.
They're about right, as in my quick estimation. I mean, the Florida State, Clemson, Miami battle for the ACC, I think, is actually one of the most fascinating in terms of a conference championship, because in my eye, there's a group of 3 for the ACC, and then kind of a big gap. Apologies, there's a busy road by my house.
That's okay.
But it's not to disrespect the other teams like NC State, who I think can have a fantastic season. It's just the teams that can have those, have those wins that'll put them into that top category. Because I have Florida State and Miami both beating Florida. Those are going to really, really be a big boost to where they are in these rankings.
Right. Do you want to say anything about Utah there?
Utah, I feel like 11 might be a little bit too low for the Utes. In my own poll, I put them in the top 10. And since we've conducted the poll, I'm feeling even more optimistic. Maybe it's because kickoff's less than 2 weeks away. But I'm thinking Utah's going to end up 6, guys. And 6 is last ranking.
That's a little brave.
You know what? Honestly, it's not, though. This team is very, very, very good. I'm drinking the Ute hype and everything, but this team is so experienced. If they get it done and go 11-1, they should be number 6 in the nation. Seriously, if Utah goes 11-1, where are they? If they're already at 12?
If they're 11-1, they're in the top 6.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you have to go 11-1. They have to do that first, right?
I'm at 10-2 for the Utes at the end of the year, but a lot of Ute fans are at 11-1.
That is crazy, dog. But it's good. We got to be positive. Moen, you want to say anything about those schools we just talked about? We're going to get
Utah
to the
is ranked too high. Missouri is ranked too low. Florida State is ranked too low.
Okay. All right. We will find out. All right, let's go next. So we end with Florida State. By the way, I think Florida State, under the right circumstances, might go undefeated. That is possible this year. So we'll go LSU, Penn State, Ole Miss, and Alabama. Alabama out of the top 5. What do you guys think about that?
I think that Alabama's ranked too high here. I think Alabama's going to be out of the top 10. I'm with Pickles.
Yep. I'm a hater. I'll proclaim myself a hater, but I have them ranked underneath teams even like Tennessee and Missouri. I think they're going to have a rough season. And again, it's not me thinking Alabama's just going to fall off a cliff and miss a bowl, but 8-4 to them is a step back. And that's kind of where I have them, I think, at 18. I think anywhere between that 10 to 15 range is perfectly reasonable. I think they're too high on our overall consensus.
Rock, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I actually think this section of the pool, I mean, I can understand the argument for Alabama going down. They just were so stacked for so long that the talent's still there.
Right.
And I have a hard time, I'm not going to get burned again on Alabama thinking that they're going to, this is not going to be their year. I'll wait till it's not their year and I'll be 1 year behind then rather than be 1 year ahead of it. But this whole section seems pretty reasonable to me.
It's supposed to be hot takes, Rock. Come on now.
I have hot takes. Washington's not making the top 25 and Becky's honest.
That's
Here
not
we
that
go.
hot of a take, Rock.
Here we go.
Even I only had him 24th, and I'm pretty optimistic.
All right, I'm going to bring up the one that's going to bring the most consternation and the most comments. Okay, we're going to start with Stormy Cyclone's comment. Why is Notre Dame number 5? Brand name and viewership does not produce wins, even if they play a modest schedule. My answer to that, and then I will ask every one of you, what you think about it, starting with Moen, is Notre Dame's schedule. They have like 2 games they have to get through. It's an independent schedule. They basically have the road paved for them by who they actually play. So that's why they're in the top 5. On top of the viewership, on top of the name recognition and brand, it's because of that.
Yeah. I think that USC game at the very end of the year may actually be a de facto win your way into a playoff spot type game for both teams. And I want to believe in Lincoln Riley's defense, but it's tough. And I know that Notre Dame is the perennial good but not great team. They're like right on the cusp and everyone talks about them every year, is pushing for that playoff spot. But it's a 12-team playoff, and whether you want to say it's a conspiracy theory or not, I think that if they're anywhere close to a top 15 ranking, they'll find a way to put them in.
Moen. Are you there, Moen? Can't hear you. You're on mute.
Oh,
brother.
I'm sorry. I said if
That's
they have
okay.
2 losses, they'll be top 5.
See, listen to that. Top 5 on 2 losses on that.
Because they are
Top
Notre
5.
Dame, and people just love Notre Dame. They love overrating Notre Dame. That's why I overrated them, because they're Notre Dame.
And what do
I
you
just
think
know
about?
how
Sorry.
the poll's gonna level out. Teams like Notre Dame and Alabama, based on their brand, are going to get put higher. I think Ole Miss is actually higher, but because they're Alabama, they're going to go over Ole Miss.
Very good. And Ute, what do you think about Notre Dame?
Notre Dame is overrated in our end of season predictions. Had them at 9, but I do think they will make the playoff. They will make the playoff as a lower seeded team or higher seeded team, like a 9-10 seed in the playoff based on brand and these easy schedule. They play 3 ranked teams this year. That's pretty soft for Notre Dame's schedule. So I see them in the playoff.
So what everyone needs to understand is that Ute is smart. And I have Notre Dame at 10 also. So,
well, how is this possible? Because I have them also at 9. So who brought them up so high?
I only have them at 7, so I'm not sure.
it's cumulative points versus others, right? We have a bunch of other outliers not getting points.
Yep.
It puts them up because they were on everybody's.
Yep.
Right. Versus like Auburn times 2 at high. That's essentially the issue.
I agree with that. I have Auburn at 8. So, all right, Moen. So Pickles, Rock. Do you want to say anything else, or Pickles? Sorry, Pickles. Do you want to say anything else?
Yeah. I mean, I'll own up to the Washington hype, but I think my first one's out. That I mean, I hear the Virginia Tech in chat, Louisville. I think I didn't have Oklahoma State in, but they'd be right in my 25 to 30 range. That bottom end, I think, is going to shift a lot as the season goes, because you're going to get a lot of, with the new conferences, you're going to get a lot of good versus good matchups. You're going to have a lot of ranked matchups, and I think that will really shuffle the list as the season goes on. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with the overall selections. I'm kind of seeing the error my ways, like looking at Auburn. Maybe I was drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit much, but yeah, I feel pretty confident about how our list turned out.
Becky has Notre Dame at number 5. That also helped. So you got her with number 5. You got Moen and Pickles with Notre Dame at 7. So when you add up all the total points, that's what happens.
Okay.
Real quick, did anyone not have that same top 4? Because I think we all did, or all pretty darn close.
Let's go through it right now. Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Oregon. How does everybody feel? I actually have one change. I have Georgia, Texas, LSU, and Ohio State. So
I flipped Oregon and Texas, but that's it.
Okay. Ute?
I had Texas 3 and Oregon 4, but now after these Texas injuries at running back with Baxter out and the other dude out, I would actually do a swap back and put Oregon at 3 and then Texas at 4. I think Texas moves a notch or 2 down from that. They've got 3 scholarship running backs. They're going to have attrition there. It could be an issue going into the season, guys.
Okay.
Yes, I'm same. Everybody had the same top 4 in different orders except for you, Nate. Not that it was that far off. And I had Texas second, but again, this was all done before they had their running back room get some serious damage.
Absolutely. Moen, what do you think about this top 4?
I think that's spot on. I think that's the 4 best teams in America. You is right. Texas, you have to take them down a notch because of all the injuries. But it's not like Texas isn't loaded at positions. They'll just throw the ball a lot more.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Pickles, did you want to add anything else to it?
Yeah, I did see that comment earlier that this was what I believe about a week ago we finalized these. You're going to have injuries and things like that, but Texas is still super deep. I understand that it may knock them down. It might be the difference in them being capable of winning their conference championship over Georgia to not have that depth of running back, but they're still going to be an absolutely stacked team.
Let's get to a couple comments here. Coos Corner. Good to see you, Justin. Everybody go to Coos Corner after the show. You guys are disrespecting West Virginia just like everyone else, including me. Justin, if you watched our show on the Big 12, we had West Virginia as a spoiler. I think most of us did. What do you guys want to say about West Virginia?
Yeah,
they could go in my top 25.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have them on my top 25, so not me. Coos, you can still talk to me.
All right, who else?
Yeah, they're in my kind of like, next couple out type grouping. They're definitely right on the border. And I kind of threw it out there in chat. That Penn State West Virginia game is massive for both teams. And I think that kind of will set the pace of both seasons.
Completely agree.
It's the schedule, Coos, the schedule. This is the end of end of season rankings. And West Virginia has the toughest schedule in the Big 12. They play almost all the top dogs in the Big 12. They got Penn State and Pitt out of conference, really, really tough. And so if you think that West Virginia is going to go 10-2, then they're going to be a playoff team. But I could see 3 or 4 losses and probably, around a 30 ranking at the end of the year for the Mountaineers. I do think they have a top 20 talent, though, talent roster.
Moen?
Yeah, I based mine on statistical. So anything that's a dark horse like Kansas, West Virginia, I did not include them because they're dark horses.
They were our number 6 team in the Big 12 overall on that specific conference ranking. They came in 6th, but Coos, I'm the only one who really believes because I'm the only one who has them on my top 25.
That is absolutely not true. We said West Virginia could win the Big 12. It might have been in 6 on that list.
Yeah, they're a dark horse for
but
sure.
we talked about them winning the whole thing. So let's just be truth in advertising.
No, Coos has got to like me more. It's the way it has to work. It's just the law.
All right. We have a late arrival coming in here. Becky has joined the party. How are we doing, Becky?
Oh, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. We're glad you're all repaired and able to join the show for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'm good to go today.
Well, why don't you give us a quick rundown? What do you think about this 25 we put together in the order?
Well, first off, we called Pickles a homer. You putting the Utes in the top 6. Come on.
Yeah, I put my Huskies at 24 just to make the list. What are you doing, Ute?
Utes they're going to be playing for the national championship.
I seriously think the Utes are going to be in the Final Four. The Utes are going to be in the Final Four this year.
Wow. Here we go.
So do I.
They'll lose in the semifinal.
For God's sake, well, if the Utes don't make, for God's sakes, their starting quarterback was a toddler when Tom Brady was drafted.
You know what's funny about that? Out of Salt Lake, there's news that his backup, Isaac Wilson, Zach Wilson's little brother, is playing good ball in fall camp.
Oh, he
So
sure
if
There's
Tom-
always good news at a fall camp. Come on,
if
Bomber.
if Cam goes down, which is everybody's concern, his injury history, including mine, if he can come in and perform, that's something.
No, Bomber, like that's like for the future. If Cam Rising goes down, it's over. Like Utah's probably going to end up unranked.
That would be great. I would love that.
That's tough.
I would love that.
All right, what else, Becky?
Yeah, no, I'm going to defend. I had Notre Dame at 5. People, you're sleeping on them. Their defense is really good. They have Riley Leonard, the Duke quarterback a year ago, at quarterback this year. So fully expect them to take another step forward. And he's a running quarterback, so they'll get him out and doing some things as well. But no, I think like our top 4 is spot on. I would definitely move Texas down a notch after all the injuries. But like it's been said, they're loaded, so they'll just if they choose to throw the ball more, they can do that. They have the guys to do that.
Sure.
Notre Dame did lose a starting tackle also, speaking of injuries.
But that's going to happen to everybody. Everybody's going to have those. We're not going to change our picks now.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to change the picks. I'm just saying in terms of them actually being in that.
Yeah,
top
but
echelon.
it's Notre Dame. They have a 5-star guy waiting in the wings.
True.
Yeah, it's very fair. All right, well let's do a final wrap up. Let's go around the horn. Rock, what did you think about this top 25, and kind of what are you looking for this season as we lead out with these picks?
Definitely looking forward to seeing everybody else's picks from the community. All these picks now, this top 25 and the 4 conferences are now in a channel in our Discord. So call your shots. Tell us where we got it right. Post your predictions before the season as opposed to criticizing us later. So join our Discord and do it. And I'm looking forward to seeing who lives up to this stuff. But there's definitely consensus that the top somebody's gonna be shocked in a negative way. I don't really know who to call that shot on right now. The one who's in the top 10 that drops down, and I'm not going to call Florida State like Paul Feinbaum because I don't want any abuse and I don't believe it anyway.
You don't want to be fired by ESPN, right?
I don't want to be fired because then I do not want realignment Anon coming after me. But I wonder who's going to be for me, the team that if they go, to those who say in Alabama is overranked, that would be the one that might go if something breaks down that we don't expect in terms of just the transition of a legend to potentially a great coach. But even then, I wouldn't expect them to drop out of the top 25.
Very fair. How about you, Pickles?
Yeah, I mean, I've made it clear. Bama's my team. I think that's going to fall off, and I think the Hawkeyes are going to have a good season, even if that means beating my Huskies in Kinnick Stadium. But I think it's a solid list. I don't think there's nothing that screams why on earth are they where they are on our list. It's a pretty good consensus. The Auburn one is maybe the one outlier where we didn't agree. I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm actually glad we have the 12-team playoff because although, we get this, that, and the other, I do think 12 teams gives you the best opportunity to have the most deserving champion. I really hope the Big 12 and the ACC can, however it works out, really push to get that second team in. I do think it's better when more conferences are represented other than just by their champion. My fear is that they'll find a way to push, 4 Big 10 teams or 4 SEC teams. So Big 12, get your stuff together and let your good teams roll and get a 0-loss or 1-loss team to the championship game, and you could have 2 in the playoff. That's my hope for the Big 12.
That note was already passed to Brett Yormark when he gave the schedule to Utah. So that's already been taken care of.
Yep.
All right, Moen.
Once again, Missouri is criminally underrated. LSU is criminally overrated. The Tigers deserve to be in the top 10. LSU does not deserve to be in the top 15.
We'll see. How about let's go, Becky. Final thoughts on our top 25 here.
So I think everybody's sleeping on Oklahoma State. I have them in the playoff on mine. 21 out of 22 starters coming back. You don't, and granted they got whipped by Texas, but those guys are still good. They're still going to remember how to play, and they're still going to play good teams in the Big 12. Although I do think it's the new Pac-12. I think they're going to beat the crap out of each other. And I think that's the ultimate downfall is there's so much talent, like top teams in the Big 12, that they're going to beat each other, and that's what's going to prevent like a Utah as being like a second team or even like a Kansas State. I just think in the end they'll have I think they'll just have too many losses. I think, the second place team could have 3 losses. So that's my take on that. And then lastly, LSU does not belong in the top 15. God, no.
Thank you.
All right. Am I last? Ute, what's your final note?
LSU does not deserve to be in the top 15. Agreed with Moan and Becky.
You guys.
Very, 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 very pleased that the most fraudulent and overrated team this season, Arizona Wildcats, are not in the top 25. So that is good. They are going to absolutely get exposed this year. Fafita is going to get sacked 1,000,000 times. There's no 20-step drops going to go on for Arizona Wildcats anymore. I can't wait till the Utes punish them week 5 of the season. But moving forward here, so Miami. So Miami is the most underrated team on this list here at 15. I think Miami's a top 10 team, and they will be in the playoff as a top 4 seed, either 3 or 4 seed.
Very good. I love that. Thank you so much for everybody's opinion on that. I just want to say I think this top 25 activity was fun. It's really the first year we've done this, and already looking at our picks on our spreadsheets, it occurs to me that if you sat down and did them all at once, you have them in pretty good order. If you did them in silos, which is what I did, there's going to be a disconnect from the conference rankings and the final top 25. So I learned that lesson. Next year, we're going to do something different. But I will say this. Last year, I won the pick'em. 8 games a week to the end of the week, 13 weeks or whatever it was, and I won that tournament. And it was by making oddball picks. And I'm telling you right now, LSU is going to shock the world.
Hey, Nate, don't feel bad about your LSU pick. Half the people here talking about how they're overranked, have them ranked higher than they're talking about right now.
What? Oh, my goodness. That's even
like,
had them
they're
at
top
5.
15. They're not a top 15 team, except you have them at 11.
Yeah, I've got them at 11, but they're not top 15 team. I put them at 11 because they got a brand.
My defense, mine is all wrapped into my anti-Alabama conspiracy where they beat the Tide. So
there we go.
That's part
right.
of it.
Anti-Alabama.
But
all
anyway,
right,
they're all
guys.
in the Discord now, so feel free to look at them, guys, and put your own picks in there and laugh at us later.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you, Pickles. Thank you, Rockin' Around, and Becky. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Have a good rest of your show.
Talk to you later. Have a great weekend. All right. Man, I love that. That was so much fun.
That was fun.
I love disagreeing. I can't tell you how much fun it makes me feel special when we disagree. We have an activity Moen wants to run through. He thinks we can make this work. I'm not sure technically how we're going to do it because it's kind of I'm just going to let him tell you what it is. So Moen, let me bring that up and you tell everybody what we got going here.
All right. You asked for it, people. We're doing a college pick'em, a season-long college pick'em. ESPN will pick 10 games a week. You got to pick it against the spread. I will put the link in chat here.
I just did.
Click on that link. The password is Moen, M-O-E-N, as you can see right there, group password, Moen. So if you want to get in there, prove us wrong, prove us right. I've already put my picks in for the first week 0 and week 1, and let's do this. The person who wins the season will get a prize.
Yep.
But we will highlight every week. We'll do it on a Monday or a Tuesday, probably a Tuesday show. I think we'll do it on a Tuesday show. We'll highlight every week who's up and who's down. So by all means, you guys asked for it, so let's do it.
Let's do it.
And we're providing now 2 activities for everybody. It's free. Anybody can do it. Go to the Discord, put in your top 25 picks, put in your playoff picks, and let's reflect on those in December and January. Those are bragging rights activities, right? You do it once, then we argue about it. This is more of a week-to-week active thing. That's why I said I was kind of questioning if it was going to work. We're going to do our own individual picks as a team on our Friday night, Big Freaking Friday shows. But this is something anybody can participate in. We really appreciate the one we did last year for the bowls worked out great. I think we gave out two gifts that after that tournament, right, Moen? Didn't I give out two gifts?
Yeah,
2 or 3.
and we'll do a bowl pick 'em again, but this is for the season. So
yeah, agreed. All right. Well, so I posted that link. We don't need to have that on anymore. Let me bring this back. All right. So we're out of the top 25. We've made most of our picks for the different conferences. Is there any conference we're still missing? We have to do ACC. Did we do that?
No,
I
we
can't
did
remember.
that.
We did Big Ten.
We did that.
We did Big 12.
We did that.
Did we do SEC?
We have.
Okay, so all 4 of the conferences are done. The one we haven't done, and let's talk about it right now and let's decide. We're going to do a G5 pick because I don't have the energy to do a Sun Belt, a Mountain West, an AAC. How do we want to do G5? Because I think there are some schools out there that deserve recognition. Boise State, Fresno is going to be good this year. I think Memphis and Tulane are going to be good. Maybe even UTSA. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, UTSA is actually FPI, one of the highest ranked G5 schools. So they're definitely going to be in the hunt. Liberty,
I like Boise State. I think Boise State's the easy pick in that.
I think Ute and I agree with you. I think we all love Boise State, and they're loaded. They got a good quarterback. We know that. So I guess we'll have to see. So do you guys want to, I'm going to be under the knife here in a little bit. Do you guys want to quickly add show and do a pick for maybe the top 10 G5 and just rank them for the
I think that Boise State, I think Texas State's going to be there, and we mentioned UTSA, but I'm comfortable with those picks this year. Just saying them right here.
Okay, Moen, you want to add anything?
This whiskey is smoother than a 60-year-old con man.
All right.
You like that, Mo?
Let's get to this. I appreciate everybody for participating. That was a lot of fun. We look forward to doing that. You'll be able to check out those videos in our live section on our website. Let me quickly bring up our page so everybody knows what you get as a member. Go right here, our page, and let me go to our membership. Membership has its benefits. Let's talk about what these shows are and why they're important to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, these are the member videos, the Wild University videos. So if you want, as Bomber says, to be the smartest guy, the dorkiest guy, the most knowledgeable guy at the cooler, and you know everything about realignment, all the data points and everything, if you think it's significant or not, they're still there and they're still relevant. I'm telling you guys, data points are relevant. You can't just throw them out. They might not determine everything, but the decisions that realignment is based on data. And that's what these videos are all about, is stack ranking the data and seeing where teams actually fit in the scope of what a conference looks like. So for Florida State and the SEC, for KU and the SEC, tomorrow UNC and the SEC, where do these teams stack up? You can check that out if you're a member. So please look at those videos because that's what we do around here. Like we try to perfect the models and everything to make them as accurate as possible.
And I want to add before Moen comments that on Tuesday night, I'm announcing it now, we're going to have a data night. The whole show probably is going to be talking about what does data actually mean, because on Twitter right now, and has been for the last 2 years, a lot of disinformation about how you use data, what data is relevant, and really what matters in modern day college football. It's not all the same. The old boys clubs are gone. Pac-12 no longer exists as an entity. Why do we get there? We're going to talk about that Tuesday night. So I'm previewing that. These shows, these shorts are special, people. And if you know it and you've watched them, pass the link on to others. Have them come and try it out, become a member for a month. And then you tell us if you think what we're putting out there is not valuable. Moen, you want anything to that before we get to Q&A?
Yeah, there's other benefits to becoming a member. You get to use all the emotes in chat. You get a little membership icon that shows how long you've been a member. You get preferential treatment when we do the Q&A. And you can vote in community polls. Right now, there's a community poll up. I think pull that membership page back up.
Sorry, let me do that. At. Yep.
Right there, looks like the next Wild Ute University, unless something changes, it's going to be Clemson to the SEC, guys.
Where do you guys think Clemson would rank in the SEC before the analysis is done? So there are 16 teams right now with Clemson inside. There'd be 17 teams. Where would they fall?
Moen.
I'd say like 9.
I'm close to that. I'm 8 or 9 as well.
I'm going to say 12.
Lower then. Okay.
Yeah, 12-ish. Yeah.
Well, your guess, you know stuff, Moen, and I don't know. So
I
I'm
haven't
not
done
sure
anything yet. So just a guess. It's just a guess.
I'm going to say 8 or 9. I think mid is, and I hate that term. They've used it with the Big 12 and the AC. Let's drop that mid crap. They're all conferences. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun to check out. So if you're a member, you can vote on that. Get in there. It's a members only poll, and you can dictate what our next show will be. And obviously, right here, it looks like Clemson to the SEC. The last thing that Moen just mentioned is we do shows that are members only, where we feature things that we're not telling anybody else. On Wednesday, I have one that I'm tuning up for. Just got to find out all the data points we're going to talk about on Wednesday. It's going to be members only, and we're going to be talking G5 tournament for football. Okay? Announcing that. We're going to talk about that Wednesday night. Members only show. All right. Let's jump into comments, guys. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Moen, do you want to run a sounder before we get going here?
Denied.
What does that even mean?
Tonight.
All right, let's start first with another anniversary for a member. Lonnie Johansson, member for 7 months. Lonnie, thank you so much. We appreciate everything you've done for us, the community, your membership, and your help in comments. It's awesome to see you, and I'm going to give you a clap. Moen, do we have a special one for that one?
That was legitness.
There we go. All right. I love it. Thank you so much, Lonnie. It's good to have you here. Trent Brown, again, not my brother, but my brother across miles and miles of ground. Freaky Friday at last. Let's go Cougs.
There you go.
You sure that's my brother? Let's go Cougs.
My brother is a guide, a fishing guide in Montana. World class, actually. He's an outfitter. He has 3 or 4 boats. People work for him. And he doesn't do YouTube shows. So I don't think we're not the same sort of vibe, he and I. Anyway, let's see here. Rock and Rant. Let's see. Oh, these are the video links. No, I'm going to take those off. We're going to talk about those later, Rock. You send me those in DM if you're still watching, Rock. Let's see. Replica says Joe Klatt hinted at a 14-team format during his last podcast. What do you guys think? Do we do a subset to 14 or we just go all the way to 16? I think we go to 16.
Doesn't matter. Somebody's going to complain.
Well, it does matter, though. I think it does matter.
I don't think it does, because 17 and 18 will complain if you go to 16. Then you go to 18 to placate them, and then 19 and 20 will complain. I mean, at some point, the regular season has to matter, guys.
But that's been a complaint they've done for decades. The season doesn't matter anymore. It's all top end. And all, none of that scare stuff has actually been true. The games still matter during the season.
They still matter. You bet they do.
Not as much.
Okay. I think that we're going to 16. I think that's the only fair way to do it, best way to do it. No buys. Forget buys, just home field advantage.
See, I would argue the opposite. I would go to 8.
Ooh, yeah, but you're an elitist. You're Ohio State. You only want to play one team every year.
And like the problem is the ranking. Like, how do you determine who's the top 8 in the NFL? You play it off, right? And you've got like your division and your conference because you're playing everybody of like opponent. But like if the Big 10 doesn't play the Big 12's bunk, right? And then all of a sudden it's subjective. That's what I don't like about that. That's why it should be on the field.
Moen?
It will be on the field with 8 teams. The 8 best teams. Cheers.
All right. I love it. That's great. Let's do a little Syracuse and Georgia Tech. Take a drink as part of the drinking game. I am not a drinker, of course, but these two guys absolutely love to imbibe. So if you're part of the show and you want to drink, you hear Georgia Tech or Syracuse, go ahead and take a little dip. I'm telling you right now, though, if you're driving, don't drink, and you're for drinking, don't drive. And if you're drinking, watching us, just go chill out with your family and have a good night. Please do not get in a car. All right, let's go to this next one. Let's see. Anthony Eason says, at ALC, I'm glad they did. Brom, we'll use it for motivation. Go Cards. I think we had Louisville at 25, didn't we?
Yeah, I think they were underrated there.
Okay, where would you put Louisville?
Top 15.
Really? You think they're that good? Okay.
I like Brom. I like Brom as a coach.
Okay.
Brom's the man. Top 20. Brom is the man.
Okay.
Right outside the playoff
All right.
picture.
Okay. By the way, I guess I need to remind everybody, the Q&A part of the show is really important to us. We go through and this is actually world famous in case you didn't know. And this is how you become part of the show. So if you want to participate, leave your comment in the comment section, just like everybody's been doing. But we give preference to members' comments first. And then, of course, we read all super chats and super stickers. Those all come with it. So that's sort of how we're doing this end of the show. We've got a good 45 minutes. We're going to do Q&A. So please participate. We're marking them so we know when we like them, and keep those things coming. I'll let you know when we're sort of starting to shut it down. So if you have something you're saving to the end, you can then try to get it out at that time. All right. Let's see here. John Dry says Bohannon went from Baptist to Mormon to Norman. He's not Mormon anyway. And the other QB went from Jewish to Mormon. Neither one of them went to Mormon. They're just playing football in Provo. That's it. Bohannon, I think, is QB number 1, by the way.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I think so. We'll have to see. BYU goes or doesn't go by the quarterback play. Bottom line. Their defense is going to be probably top 40, maybe top 35. That's what I guess.
Agreed.
Let's see here. Timothy Green checks in again. It says, David Frame, honestly, I would like to wait and see how Neil Brown does the next couple of years. I got a feeling he is going to do pretty damn well. Moen, you're high on Neil Brown.
I'm just high in general, but yeah, Neil Brown, I like him. I like West Virginia. Hacha.
How about you, Ute?
Neil Brown is an enigma. Last year, he was on the chopping block. Everyone said he's going to get fired, just like Billy Napier this year. That's how people treated Neil Brown.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, it seems like this offseason, folks really love Neil Brown. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if West Virginia overperformed last year. Like this year with Garrett Green, I mean, this team is good. This West Virginia team's way good. The schedule is stacked and difficult. Can Neil Brown get them to 9 wins or more? If he does, that is going to be a remarkable year. If he gets to less than 8 wins, it's going to be a fail. Let's be honest about it. Fail for West Virginia. 7 wins, 6 wins is not acceptable with this team, especially with Garrett Green. So we'll find out what he can do this year.
I completely agree. I don't know if you're still watching. If Coos Corner, Justin, if you're still watching, put a note or send me a DM on Twitter. And I'd love to bring you on and talk about West Virginia for a couple minutes, just because it is an enigma. You know, honestly, in our top 20, top 12 ranks or top 16 for the Big 12, West Virginia was anywhere from 3 to, 6 or 7. So I'd love to talk about that if you have time tonight. If not, it's totally cool. Kalani L, good to see you, Kalani. It's been a minute. Federal judge ruled that Disney Fox Warner Brothers streaming service Venue violates antitrust laws. And I have articles on that. Let me bring those up. I told you I'd get back to it, and we will right now. All right, let's see. First, we're going to start with wherever that link went. What the hell? Didn't my link? All right, I guess we're going straight to John Orand. I had another one. I don't know where it went. So let's go here to the John Orand tweet that responds right to this comment from Kalani. DirecTV on the Venue injunction says, we are pleased with the court decision and believe that it appropriately recognizes the potential harms of allowing major programmers to license their content to an affiliated distributor on more favorable terms than they license their content to third parties. What does that actually mean?
That means that they're engaging in non-arm's length practices, that they're basically trying to monopolize the market, in my understanding, without actually putting a fair market value and a fair market price and putting out to the open markets for the content. But it really gets kind of confusing, though, even to digest that information, what's really going on here, what's the legal argument behind this. It's tough to really understand that, but that's the big idea is it's not fair practices going on. That's what they're claiming, at least. And Fubo is claiming that mostly, because Fubo is about to get eliminated completely with this new Venue channel and everything. So they're in a court case to fight it.
Absolutely right. Moen, I know you've been tracking this as well.
Yeah, Fubo isn't the only one. This is just a cord cutter's delight. Cable companies are opposed to this. Fubo's opposed to this. YouTube TV, I'm sure, is opposed to this. The only people that are for it are, surprisingly, HBO Max, Disney, and
Yes.
Fox. So I'm not shocked. It's they're going to control pricing, which means they're going to lead to price gouging.
Yeah, I mean, once you're the only player in the world, you're not going to bet against yourself for prices, right? It's just going to keep going up and up and up. Yeah, I completely agree. I do have a question out to Bob Thompson. I'm going to try to get him on for our September 3rd show. That's my birthday, actually, but I'll still be recovering. But I'm going to look forward to trying doing that. And we're going to talk all about this media stuff. So I'm working on that. He's a busy guy. But once Bob has some time, we're going to do a show and talk about these deals in depth. Again, I posted the link from John Oran's tweet. We always do that. Make sure you check it out. Look at the original information. We don't want to take anybody out of context. All right, let's move right along. Let's see here. You guys are marking things for me, right? Because I've sort of gotten lost where I was. All right, here we go. ALC, another member, says, are you going to leave Louisville out of the top 25 as well? No, we did not. They are near the end, but they're not left out entirely. Illini Ted, great to see you here, Ted, one of our Discord admins. I'm just glad that teams not in the preseason polls still have a shot at the playoff. It was awfully hard moving up when it was only 2 teams and then 4 teams to get past that initial bias. Do you guys think that it will sort of expand perceptions for some of these other leagues and schools? I think that's what's going to happen. You're going to get more people watching these down ticket games, and I do think it's going to help perception. What do you think, you?
Yeah, I don't think that perceptions are going to change much. Honestly, I think that all the talk on ESPN is going to be about the freaking SEC. On Fox, it's going to be about the Big Ten with a little bit of Big 12 flavoring. It's just going to get a little bit more polarized with that. Then you'll have a team like Boise State or Texas State moving up, and they'll get a little bit of play at the end of the season. But I think that, unfortunately, like these big networks and stuff just want to care about taking care of themselves and their own inventory, right? And I think that's going to continue. It's been that way for a long time and stuff. So I think it's going to remain the same way.
Moen.
It's going to depend on the outcome of the games. Listen, if the 2 Big 12 teams that get blown out this year, you're going to hear people.
It won't be good.
It won't be good. You're going to hear calls for people to, the G5 team, if they come in and lose 67-3, it's not going to be good for those, So perception is going to be based on actually winning. You got to come in there and win. If Utah or Oklahoma State can get past the first round, I think that's a huge one for the Big 12.
I would add Kansas State to that list. Those 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah. David Frame responding to Trent Brown. Nice job. Make sure she keeps her eyes on the road. No cell phones. I guess we've got a new driver out there. Everybody be careful. Thank you, David, for the comment. Appreciate it. Steve Moser, very critical of us tonight, says, yeah, you guys are dissing the Big 12 in your Big 10 show. Sounded like clowns, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
You think a guy that dresses like this is a clown? Come on.
I don't think I was in the Big 10 show, was I? Was that one I missed?
No, that was me, Pickles, and Becky.
Oh,
and we probably were shitting on the Big 12 because we were in the Big 10 show.
I just want to be clear. It wasn't you or me.
No,
right?
It wasn't me.
So
I think he's an ACC guy and everything. So
no,
I get it.
He's a Kansas fan. Steve is.
Oh, he's a Kansas guy? Steve's a Kansas guy?
Well, so to be clear then, let's tell the world, it is our show. It was the rankings of the Big 10, but we were not on it. So Ute and I, the Big 12 guys, we would not have done that. So, Steve, we've got your back, okay? Moen is not the boss around here. That's all I'm saying. Thank you very much for being.
I'm not the boss around here. 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be the boss around here.
Yeah, you may be. Timothy Green says, I would like to know how in the world Notre Dame is 5th. There's no way their strength of schedule is too weak, in my opinion. I think we addressed this. Do you guys want to add anything more to it?
3 ranked teams all year. Toughest game versus Florida State at home for Notre Dame. It really is pretty weak. This team's good, guys. This Notre Dame team's good.
Yep.
This is the best Notre Dame team they fielded in a while. I hate to say it. I dislike Notre Dame a lot.
All of us do. All of us do.
Right.
Yeah. There's not one of us that doesn't.
Notre Dame is God's team, and as a result, they get ranked higher than every other team, regardless of how they perform.
The bias is there, and it's eternal. It's baked in at this point. So, anyway, thank you, Timothy. Appreciate it. Let's see your Big Lubbock checking in. Good to see you, Lubbock. Don't forget that the Horns lost their top 2 running backs to season-ending injuries and are replacing all wide receivers. I think this will cause Quinn Ewers to run more. Horns will be lucky 9 wins. Until tonight, I wasn't aware of the running back drama. So Texas is still loaded, though. They're Texas.
Yeah, they'll just throw the ball more with Quinn Ewers.
He could
Texas has issues, guys.
He could win the
Texas
Heisman.
has issues. The Big Lubbock just nailed it right here. So freaking guns up for this comment right here. Because exactly, Quinn Ewers mentioned that he's going to run more this year because of the running back injuries. You know who's waiting in the wings if he gets hurt? Arch freaking Manning, guys.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers won't see the dang field again if he gets hurt at all. Even for a game, he's done. Like, I just don't. There's bigger issues in Longhorn country that people want to talk about with this running back situation. 3 scholarship running backs remain. Usually 1 or 2 get dinged up for the season. They're in trouble, guys. Like, they're still a top 10 team, but I'm not sure this could be like a title. Like, this could end their title contention.
Wow.
If they don't have good enough running back play.
Okay.
Quinn Ewers isn't going to do that. Come on, it's Quinn Ewers. Right, Arch Manning's not going to run anywhere. He can't. What's his 40 time for Arch Manning? It's less than
5 seconds
flat.
or something. Yeah. I don't know enough. I think Texas is still loaded. I think those are good things to be keep attention on. But I mean, if they go out and win, who cares? Right? We'll find out at the end of the season. Maybe we'll all look stupid and Texas will be out of the top 25. That could happen. I don't think it will. Anyway. Line Ted again says, don't worry if your team didn't make top 25 like mine. It just means we're all drinking with Georgia Tech and Syracuse.
Cheers to you and the
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Coos Corner says, this pains me to say, but don't overlook Virginia Tech. They returned like 20 players from last year, including drones at QB. I have Virginia Tech pretty high in my top 25, if I recall. Let's see.
They need to prove it. That's fine. They've got a lot of returning talents and everything. Quarterback's back. There's a lot of hype around Virginia Tech, but they've been down so bad for so long. You got to show it. Get people comfortable picking Virginia Tech. I don't feel comfortable picking Virginia Tech in the top 25.
I've got them 6th in the ACC.
Yeah, that's not top 25 for sure, though. Right?
No, not at all. No. Yeah. Moen?
Yeah, I like Virginia Tech as a dark horse.
For the conference or to make the playoff?
For the conference championship, I've got them.
Really?
I've got them. They're just like I have West Virginia in the Big 12. I think Virginia Tech is a dark horse, but I think Georgia Tech's a dark horse as well. So,
yeah, and I'm going to bring my picks up because feel free to share them. Let me get this comment off here. So these are all my picks. They've been public for a while, so I'm not worried about it. But where I wanted to focus on is the ACC has 6, maybe 7 teams that can compete not only for their championship, but at the end of the year for the playoff, maybe a second spot. The Big 12 goes 9 deep and maybe 10, depending on if Texas Tech steps up or Baylor or BYU. You could have 10 teams deep instead of 7. No, that's facts. There's nothing you can do about that. If you do the top 50, that's how those play out. So what do you guys think about that?
I think you're right. I think the Big 12's deeper, about 4 teams deeper than the ACC. And it's going to show out this year. While SMU is going to have a good year because of the weak schedule, I just don't see them being a playoff contender by any means. And if you stack them up, I'm looking at your list, Bomber, Iowa State, right next to SMU, so the Big 12 ACC. I'll take Iowa State every time versus SMU.
Yeah, we talked about
UCF over Cal every time. Yep. TCU over BC. It's almost like all these matchups you favor the Big 12 team.
I don't disagree with you. Moen, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, the ACC is more top-heavy than the Big 12. I think Florida State, Clemson, Miami are going to battle for that. I do have Virginia Tech as a dark horse.
Okay. Let's keep going here. Let's go. Stormy Cyclone checking in again. Thank you, Stormy, for all your your prayers and support. I appreciate it. Coos, you can really see how the perception would change if West Virginia would beat Penn State. Ute, you have been crowing about this game for months.
You have no idea on what this is for West Virginia's program for the Big 12 conference. That game is the number one game, the most important game all year long for the Big 12 conference. And for West Virginia, for the perception change, they're unranked right now, but shoot, if you beat Penn State, you're a top 15 team. You're sitting at 13 or 14 probably, and everything is on the table for the Mountaineers. You get that done, and all of a sudden you might be right there for the Big 12 favorite. That's how big a game that is, perception-wise and everything else. Everything's on the line. Like, I don't mean to add too much pressure to the Mountaineers, but like it really is that important for the future of this conference, the Big 12 conference. Like, it's must. You must win this game.
Moen?
I like them at the spread. I've got West Virginia in the spread in my pick 'em.
But not to win outright.
Not to win outright. I think Penn State has just got too much talent. I think they win by like a field goal towards the end of the game.
Do you think it's possible, and this is just an open question, you tell me if it's right or wrong, do you think it's possible, and why is that other one scrolling? I think it's screwed up. I'm going to look at that. That West Virginia wins that game, and then it flips the paradigm for the rest of the league, like Ute is proposing. Because I honestly believe it. I think it would change the outlook for the entire 2024 season for the Big 12.
I think it would flip the outlook on Penn State. I think people would say Penn State was overrated.
Really?
Yeah.
Mo,
Okay.
You said it yourself that Garrett Green is like a Heisman contender.
He's a dark horse Heisman candidate.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's like, think about this. Like, if West Virginia beats Penn State and then they play Pitt a week or two after and win that game before Big 12 play, they're going to be like the darlings of the college football college football world. That's going to be the team everyone's going to be talking about. If they go undefeated in non-conference, they're borderline top 10. Like,
right, but it's not going to
Garrett
shift.
Green's like number one in the Heisman.
We're talking about shifting the paradigm, though, and it's not going to be that the Big 12 was better than the Big 10. It's going to be that Penn State was overrated.
Well, yeah, I certainly don't think it's going to be the Big 12 is better than the Big 10, but I think that the perception will be that the Big 12 isn't just dog crap, right? That the Big 10, like, it just can't run over the Big 12. Because right now, I feel like from the SEC and the Big 10, it's like, oh yeah, it's the Big 12. Forget that and everything. They're major pet, like they're so far below us and everything. It's a punch up and saying, hey, we're right here with you, and we're going to beat you sometimes. And so you got to take it seriously. I think that's the kind of game it is. It's not saying we're going to be better than you by any means. It's just getting closer to you.
I think the perception gap is real, and I think obviously the Big 12 and ACC as well are fighting that perception battle every day. They're fighting it, and Brett Yormark, if they win that Penn State game, Brett Yormark's going to trumpet that, and then we have other out of conference games, right? That would make the conference just, we have some SEC games, we have some other Big 10 games. If we start winning those, maybe you win 75% of them. I think it begins the long climb up. But it's going to be a fight for a long time. I know that.
And like the thing is, it's the games versus the SEC and the Big 10 that the Big 12 and the ACC need to win. It's not the games versus each other. It's not the games versus the G5. Right. It's the games versus the Big 10 and the SEC. And you don't get too many shots at a Penn State non-conference.
Right.
Like, you might get them in a bowl game if you had a good year and stuff, but Penn State going to West Virginia is such an opportunity. You can't let it slip.
Moen, what do we got here?
Some asshole named Moen Vision gets 5 memberships.
Moen.
Thank you, Moen. I appreciate it. I'll clap for you.
Those
Thank
went
you.
to WVU Mountaineer Layer with Kenny. Zoe Zuki, that's a great name. Alan Althus, well, we're into alliteration tonight. Rob Castagna. And CHG229. And I'm going to give myself a sounder. He needs some milk.
I'll wait for that.
Yeah, wait for it while the soundboard's cycling.
He needs some milk.
What is that?
I'm still getting used to that one.
He needs milk.
I would say this, that Zoe Zucci is what her name is, or his name is, whatever. Zoe Zucci. Anyway, thank you very much, Mo, and thanks for the gifts. By the way, if you received a gift, I would consider paying it forward. Karma is real. I count on it every day. If you receive a gift, consider giving one to somebody else. Perpetuate this thing as we go. Helps keep the lights on, which it literally does, and it enables us to do more things. So gifting memberships is a wonderful way to share how you feel about the channel and how important it is to grow the community. So
right. But most importantly, tell your family and friends. Let's get these subscribers up. Let's get these viewers up. Let's party like it's 1999.
Like it's 1999.
Georgia Tech and Syracuse with Crown Royal single malt.
Oh, brother. Yeah. Anyway, Tony Lawson says, "Big noon, big game. Go West Virginia." So
Whoa,
Tony's
look at that. A Big Ten guy is saying go West Virginia. Look at that.
The architect checking in. He says PSU is going to roll Jimmy's and Joe's.
Oh, come on, architect.
That's harsh. Architect being very, very critical. Look who came in the side door. Who let this guy in the house? Greg, peek around the corner, Greg Flugar. By the way, Greg, send me a DM on Twitter if you want to join the show. I would love to have you. It's a party. He says, when North Carolina State defeats Tennessee and Charlotte and College Football Mafia panel heads will all explode, buckle up. I love how he's always supporting us. What do you guys think about Greg?
Greg's amazing. Greg's money on everything almost. So we love Greg here. Like, he's been all over this. I'm looking here at the FPI predictor, Greg, for the NC State and Tennessee game. It says Tennessee is going to be a favorite in this game. 69.4% chance of winning it. Look, I've said before, it's a neutral field. It's in Charlotte. Everyone says it's NC State home field. I don't think so. Tennessee has a massive fan base. He'll travel. We're going to have a bunch of fans there. It's a massive game. It's a massive game for the ACC. It's almost like a West Virginia Penn State game. This is a defining game where you get this one and you get respect, and the SEC respects you, and so does everybody else. Can NC State get it done? We will find out. I'm hoping so. I'll be rooting for the Wolfpack.
I got Tennessee pretty high on my top 25. So
yeah, I've got to say, the kid from Tennessee, the quarterback, I can't pronounce his last name, but he has got absolute cannon for an arm.
Yeah, he's really, really
he
good.
Can throw
Nico?
80,
Nico?
Yeah.
You something or other. I apologize to anybody who's Polynesian Samoan. I can't pronounce his name.
That's okay. So, you said his name. That's all that matters.
He can throw that ball 80 yards. So
yeah, he's an athlete for sure.
Talented. So yeah, in this game, Tennessee is favored right now, according to Vegas, by 5 points.
Oh, that's actually not as much as I thought it would be. Probably because they're on the road.
Yes, and it's not at NC State. It's in the Carolina Panthers Stadium.
Right. A little bit disconnect there, but missed opportunity for North Carolina State not getting them in stadium. I think.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. That again, fighting that perception battle, the ACC as well. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here tonight. It's great to see you as always. Whether you asked for it or not, I did send you an invite. So if you want to drop in, final call. We're going to be another 20 minutes, everybody. We've got probably 100 comments already marked, so we're probably not going to be adding any more unless Moen or you pick one that I didn't see. So at this point, it's got to be a super chat if you want to get your opinion out there. We love those. Encourage everybody to participate, but that's kind of how we do this. Final rundown on our Q&A. I'm going to drop in this final look for Q&A and say Daniel Gygax says, Tim, I was deployed for the West Virginia UGA bowl game in Atlanta. My boss was a UGA grad. He didn't say another word about West Virginia being weak after that game. I apologize. I don't remember that game. When did that happen?
Oh, that was years ago. That was when Ohio State played Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl.
Was it a bowl game?
Oh, yeah, it was a bowl game because I had money on it in Georgia for screwing that game up for me.
All right. Do you remember it?
I don't remember.
West Virginia beat them pillar to post. It wasn't even close.
Pillar to post. That's saying something. Thank you, Daniel, for your comment. I really appreciate it. Antoine Codes checking in says the Big 12 will have more losses, but the Big and SEC won't have more losses at the top. Well, my answer to that immediately, Antoine Codes, is both the SEC. Well, the SEC goes 9-10 deep, but the Big 10 this year, I don't think they go 10 deep. So I'm not sure you get the same amount of competition which is pretty equal in the Big 12 for the most part. What do you guys think about that?
That's a good point. Like the bottom half of the Big Ten seems like the Big 12, mid Big 12 could beat them. Like it's pretty competitive at least. So I think that the Big Ten is about 5 programs are super heavy. SEC's about 7 or 8. SEC is freaking stacked. The Big 12 is deep, very, very deep, right? We know that. And like in Antoine Coates, I challenge you in like the Sun Devils, like your program here, you've got an opportunity to beat Mississippi State. They're coming to Tempe, and winning that type of game is massive for the Big 12 to beat the SEC again. And another matchup, like that's one of the premier top 10, top 15 non-con matchups. So if you get that done, it's going to help the conference a lot.
Especially if it's Arizona State.
Exactly.
That'd be fantastic. Moen, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I just, like I said, the Big Ten is going to dominate at the top. You're going to have Ohio State, Oregon, probably Penn State, USC, Michigan, all at the top there.
That's 5 schools.
That's 5.
That's 5. That's not.
And you'll probably get 4 of them
16.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. 4, I think's high this year for the Big Ten. I could be
What's
wrong.
more likely, that the Big Ten gets 4 teams in the playoff, or the Big 12 gets 2?
I think the Big 12 this year gets 2. I think they're that
Big 12 will
this
get
conference.
2. Well, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think the Big Ten can get 4 and the Big 12.
See, there you go. I agree with that too.
Well, in the SEC, only the Big Ten of the SEC is going to be able to get 4, though, right? I don't think that they can both get 4 in. I mean, like, you start doing the math
you
on
could
it,
you
G5
could if
ad.
I think you could if the ACC only gets 1, because that leaves a spot for the G5.
That's big. Yeah.
So SEC Big 10 get 8, right?
Yep.
Big 12 gets 2.
Yep.
And that gets us to 10, and then there's a
G5
final
and
2,
ACC.
G5 and ACC 1.
It's always
Anyway.
down to the ACC and the Big 12, isn't it?
Fighting. It's not going to stop anytime soon. Replica, good to see you, Replica. Texas defense is bigger issue than the running back injuries. We lost both of our defensive tackles to the NFL. Yeah, and one's a Seahawk. Can't wait to see him play. And our secondary is atrocious. Talking Texas again.
Listen, I think Quinn Ewers is going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate this year.
If he stays healthy.
I think he's going to throw for 300 yards plus a game. The mullet is back. The magic mullet of Quinn Ewers is going to carry that team to the playoffs.
I thought, does he still have the mullet, or did he?
I don't know. I hope he does. I liked the mullet.
He and
When
Mike
he was at
Gundy.
Ohio State, we love the mullet.
You want to say anything else about Texas? I think you've talked about Texas quite a bit.
Texas, it sounds like there's a lot of concerns. Like
Yeah.
Replica's saying right here, there's more concerns. There's defensive concerns. Like they might not be the juggernaut, like instant playoff, top 4 playoff seed that we think. And like that running back issue is a main issue. When you lose your running backs in the SEC, like good luck just tossing the ball a bunch of places. In the SEC, it doesn't happen that often. You have to have a punishing running game. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that, they're looking a lot more vulnerable than they were a couple weeks ago.
It's crazy how that works. Thanks, Replica, for the comment. Appreciate it. Braska Rascal absolutely disagrees with me and you, saying the Big 12 will only get 1 team in the CFP. I don't know.
I hope not.
Yeah,
It could happen.
I don't know. All depends on how well, honestly. I think Utah, if nobody gets hurt, they're good enough to compete at the top. It just comes down to whether Oklahoma State, Kansas State, West Virginia, somebody else can help them. I have BYU helping them out.
Yeah, that was the Sugar Bowl in 2006, and it was 38-35, but it was because West Virginia was well ahead. I think they were up 28-0 at one point in that game.
Okay. All right. Truth in advertising. Here's one we haven't really talked about a lot, but I think we need to give more time to in the future. UCF ain't beating Florida. They might not have it together as a team, but the athletes they have will overcome that. Ask Utah when they came. They get both BYU and Utah at home this year. Oh, no. BYU doesn't. Utah
I think
goes.
the comments about Florida Gators, the Gators playing UCF this season, which is a big game for the Big 12.
Right.
Utah went to the Swamp a couple years back and lost by 3 points when Cam Rising got picked off on the goal line of a game that was the first game of the year, 95-degree weather, and everything was super humid. It was a weird situation. I don't know. I mean, UCF plays in that environment. It's not the same thing. Utah coming from the mountains, from the dry air, going down there for the first game of the season was completely different than UCF playing in the swamp. I think UCF gets it done, and I'm very confident that's going to happen. I don't even think that Napier is going to have a job at that time. Certainly after that game, he's going to get fired. It might be right before it.
I agree. I completely agree. Sergeant Pickles is checking out, so I'm going to get to his super chat. $2 a member, contributor, partner. Thank you for being here, Pickles. Dad duty calls. Have a great weekend, all. Thanks for joining us, Pickles. I know that took time out of your night. We really appreciate it. Kalani, on behalf of the Paulies, we are all offended for exactly 1 nanosecond whenever Moen attempts to pronounce one of our names. Kalani,
thank you very much.
You know I try, but I'm a Pauley guy because of BYU, and Utah does as well. But Moen, we have to forgive him. He's from a different universe, to be honest.
Oh yeah, God bless Alpha. Alpha went to heaven today.
Sergeant Pickles playing in Morgantown is no joke. I can attest that. BYU got absolutely worked last year.
Did you guys see that? That ticket for the Penn State West Virginia game was one of the most expensive in the nation for all.
I didn't. What is it?
It's you're talking like $200-$300 or more for the
really.
Ticket. It is insane.
Wow.
And Coos actually talked to the athletic director over there at West
I
Virginia
knew that was a coup. He did a great job with that interview.
Did.
Yep. I agree. Moen, you want to add anything to that?
Hey, I've been to games at Morgantown. It's one of the funnest atmospheres you will ever see in college football. If you get a chance to go. Even if one of your teams isn't playing, just grab you a 30-pack of Natty Light and put it on your shoulder, and you will blend right in.
Wow. To Town Hawk says, well, that didn't take long. Guess I'm back to YouTube TV. So we're back to talking about the lawsuit. And, that is just a mess. I have to get that all. Yeah. Bob Thompson, I need to get him on the show. We'll talk all that data. David Frame says, evil and hot sounds kinky. Moen, was that your quote?
No, but I agree with it.
And that's not safe for work. Is that where we're at tonight? Come on, man. Jason James, all in caps. Good to have you here, Jason. Make sure you subscribe. Everybody watching right now, take a second to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Follow us all on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications on YouTube and Twitter. And consider joining and become a member of the Mafia family. That includes you, Jason James. You people are crazy to say 8-4 for Bama. We list players in the portal. I like to hear this. We need more SEC people in the portal after Saban retired, but the shelves were stacked and talent all over. Coach KD is recruiting as good as Saban was. I just think that transition to a new coach, I just 8-4 seems right to me. What do you guys think?
9-3 seems right to me.
Bama's
got a tough schedule.
Yeah, 9-3.
Okay.
Okay, here we go, guys. Let's pull up Bama's schedule.
Sure, go ahead.
Let me share screen here.
Yep.
And then we'll go over.
Let's do it.
Don't see it. Okay.
Yeah,
there you go, Moen.
Georgia Tech, Syracuse.
All right, here we go. So Alabama schedule. So let's go through it, guys. Western Kentucky going to get blown out by Alabama game 1. 1-0. South Florida, hey, there's a lot of hype around this quarterback for South Florida. They're still going to get punished by Bama. Bama's going to be 2-0. Here we go. Ryan Willie, Wisconsin and Alabama. Alabama going to Wisconsin. This game is massive for the Big Ten. Guys, is it crazy to think that Wisconsin is going to win this game? What do you think?
Sorry, I was looking at something else. What was your question? I apologize.
Is it crazy to think that Wisconsin, the Badgers, are going to beat Alabama at Camp Randall on September 14th at 10 a.m. Mountain Time?
I think it's possible.
I think it's possible.
I do.
I think they cover. I think they cover.
There we go.
So you think Alabama wins that? So say that Alabama wins this game to 3-0. Guess what? Georgia's coming to Alabama. Georgia's going to win that football game.
Okay.
So there you go. There's one loss. Beat Vandy.
Yes, that's
beat South Carolina. Look, you're going to Tennessee.
That's a pick 'em.
I don't know if that's a pick 'em. And then Missouri's coming to Alabama. Missouri's a
think
very good team. That's another pick 'em.
Pick 'em, yep.
But it's at
LSU?
Alabama.
That's true.
Look at this
That Alabama.
schedule, guys. Look
Yeah,
at the schedule.
Well, it's the SEC, man. LSU is another pick 'em. I think LSU wins that game, but
And then you're playing at Oklahoma later in the season. Then you got the Iron Bowl. Like there's 3 losses on that schedule.
I'm telling you, there might be 5 losses on that schedule.
5 rough.
I don't think it's uncalled for though. I think it's very, very possible.
I can see 9-3 this year. Like what's DeBoer going to do with Jalen Milroe though? That's the question. Like because DeBoer developed Michael Penix into the player he was. Michael Penix, when he was at Indiana, he was largely dual threat.
Yes.
And Milroe can toss it a mile, but he's been dual threat. Can he quarterback whisper Milroe into being a Michael Penix player? If he can, then Alabama's going to be the best team in the nation. Not this year, but the following year. If he can't, we'll see what happens with Bama.
I agree with everything you just said, Moen.
I agree with much of what you said. I think it's going to take more than 1 year to get Jalen Milroe on.
He's
extremely talented quarterback.
Yeah,
but he is not polished.
Penix wasn't either. Do you remember Penix at Indiana?
I do.
Talent.
Yeah.
But he had some polish at Indiana, so you can see some of the traits. Jalen Milroe is just such untapped potential. I think it's going to take more than 1 season.
We will see. Let's get to a comment here from Daniel Dilly. I hope that's how we say it, Daniel. A member, thank you very much for being here tonight. Fish is a better recruiter than DeBoer. Look at Washington's recruiting classes. DeBoer couldn't capitalize at Washington. What do we think about Jed Fish at Washington?
Love him. Love Jed Fish. I think Jed Fish is an amazing coach. He's a quarterback whisperer. He's going to win. Give him 2 years, and he's going to compete for Big Ten titles. He's that good, guys. He really is.
Yeah. Give him 2 years. He'll be gone after this year when the Florida job opens.
No, he won't. Is he from Florida? Fish?
Yeah, he's a Florida alum.
Oh my gosh, he is gone.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That might upset my Dion pick. I didn't know he was a grad. Okay.
Holy smokes!
I might be wrong on that.
I was only going to say that because Sergeant Pickles left.
I had no idea that was the case. As a UW fan, that scares me because that's what happened when Peterson left, and they had. It just went back to back to back with coaches, and Washington one season went 1-11. So that scares me.
Right, Washington's depending on that buyout. I'm going to tell you right now, the Florida Boosters, that buyout's not going to be a problem.
No, it's not. That is really interesting. We'll talk about that more in the season after it happens. Mr. Ed Wayner in the house. Good to see Ed. Says grateful for, in my opinion, would be Big 12 spoiler. Houston over Utah. BYU over Kansas. I think that's possible. It's at home. Cincinnati over West Virginia. And UCF over Utah. Ed Wayner calling his shot for the entire season. I'm on mute.
I've got no comment.
I've got
no comment.
Wow.
I have a comment. I don't
Please.
see Houston over Utah. I don't see BYU over Kansas.
Okay.
I don't see Cincinnati over WVU. Now UCF over Utah, end of the season.
In
Cam
Florida.
Rising is probably out of that game.
Yes.
So you're probably right.
Okay.
If Houston beats Utah, I'm going to retire from podcasting. I'm not coming back ever again.
That cannot be your
Seriously, if Houston beats Utah, that will be the last time you see Wild Ute on any show.
That is not okay.
I'm putting it away for good.
I know where you live. That I will not allow that to happen. There's no way I'm going to let you get out because of that. No way. I don't think Houston beats Utah. Anyway, how about friends call me Sean? Good to see you. Let's see, Lane Kiffin to UF. That is the betting favorite. I think if you go to Vegas right now, Lane Kiffin is the number one. But this new information kind of shakes things up, in my opinion. Anyway, let's see where we at. Friends call me Sean. Follow up says 3, 4, 5 losses will become the norm as conferences expand. Fans will have to adapt to a new norm as college football becomes NFL light. I agree with that.
Bingo.
What do you guys think?
Agreed.
I think that's spot on.
9-3 is the new 12-0.
I don't think it's true for the SEC because they only play 8 conference games and they play one AA team every year. So
That's what Tony Lawson says.
yeah,
that game against Mercer is just a waste.
yeah.
That's not okay. Oh boy. Anyway, just so we're clear, Mr. Ed Wainer has a rooting interest. Houston, his son's in the band, so
Yep.
Looking for a birthday present. I love it. Let's see, another follow-up on Jed Fish from Becky, who's up in Seattle, would know. Fish wants an NFL job. There you go. If Florida wanted to hire him, they should have done it before this past season.
Well, I had to keep Billy Napier on to reduce that buyout. So
Yeah.
I don't know there's going to be an NFL job for Jed Fish. And I think if Florida comes calling, I think he takes that job.
He kind of seems like an NFL guy.
He's in that tree. He's come from he was an assistant coach. So it's possible.
Is it Mike McDaniels for the Dolphins? Like he's kind of that nerdy data guy. Like Fish is kind of like that.
Right. That's a good comparison, actually. Yeah.
But I mean, the Florida thing, Moan, if I'm a Husky fan, Becky, Pickles, like I'm biting my nails because that is a real risk.
That scares me to
go after him.
That absolutely scares me to death. I had no idea he was that plugged in. So, yeah, that definitely does not make me happy. Becky follows up and says Napier buyout and Fish buyout, or first is a question. Plus, they have to pay Fish more than $9 million. Well, that
Drop in the
buyout,
bucket.
any
Drop
more of
in
that
the bucket.
buyout's nothing.
How much did they pay Rashad again? That contract that they had offered him, like 20 mil?
20-some million.
Yeah, that's so dumb. We've got, anyway, let's move right along. I'm not going to get into that. So we've got about 5 minutes, everybody. So last call, and make sure we get your opinion out. I don't want anybody miss. So if you want to get your comment in the next 5 minutes, please make it a super chat. Otherwise, we're just going to sort of wrap up and kind of see and preview what's going to have going on this next weekend. I'm going to start with you, Ute. What do you think we're looking at for college football news going into this next week, which is really the last open week before we get to game weeks?
Well, since 8/15 of 2024 has passed with no Florida State or Clemson leaving the ACC like so many had predicted, I think it's going to be all quiet on the Western Front as far as the college football news and realignment goes. It's all going to be about getting prepped for the Florida State-Georgia Tech game, which is going to be one of the first premier games in college football. So all eyes are on actual games now. I think realignment is going to take a back seat. And sometimes that's when the cloak and dagger happens the most, in the dark and everything, when the games are on and everyone's attention's away. So it's going to be really fascinating to see. Bomber, you said it yesterday on and it's really that 2 of 2025 date range and everything.
Right.
And the ACC contract needs to be extended with ESPN. That's going to be the new one as far as realignment news. I think that we're going to be trying to pay attention to, but that's going to be post-football season.
Completely agree. Moen, what do you think?
Listen, if you're not a member of the channel, become a member, become a subscriber. This year we're going to do, people have been asking about watch-alongs. We're going to do drink-alongs. You will watch me drink and gamble on games.
I still don't understand
watch me
that.
chase it. It will definitely be not safe for work. Especially if I'm watching Ohio State and he throws a bad pick.
Oh,
I will MF Will Howard till the end of time.
Oh my gosh.
So you definitely want to tune in. Make sure you're subscribed for that.
So
Make
we need
sure
to come
you're-
up. We need to come up with a banner that's a qualifier for that show, or an insert on the brand. Maybe we pop it up in the upper corner.
We're
Like
gonna
that.
call it Mowing After Drunk.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I'm gonna drink whiskey and
All
watch
right.
football, and you're gonna watch it with me, and we're gonna cuss at the guys, and we're gonna keep checks on the point spreads.
Maybe it's a Big Ten thing, but the architect says can't wait. Mowing all in.
Yes, that's right. He's gonna be there watching it with me. We're both gonna be shouting at Will Howard. We're both gonna be screaming Georgia Tech.
Oh my God.
Evidently, I don't know my fan base here because Becky says I want to join that show with Moen. You might have a secret little fan base you build up for those shows.
That's Big Ten fans. We drink, we watch football, and we yell at our team.
Okay.
Mon, you're dang entertaining. I'd watch you watch an Ohio State game. I think that you'd lose your crap, though. Seriously. You would totally lose your crap.
I can't wait. It's fun for me to watch. All right, Ute, how about you?
Yeah, it's the season's starting soon, so stoked about it. Let's go.
Sorry, I already asked you, didn't I? I apologize. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you very much for all the memberships we've received. Make sure if you're new, you subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Leave us a comment. Definitely give us the thumbs up. Still building the brand. We're getting out there doing the work. What's going on Sunday night show, Moen?
Well, almost officially, Moen has left the building. I will be jumping out of this jumpsuit. And on Sunday night, I will be talking with Rock and Rant. Who knows what we'll talk about? We might have some more of this delicious Crown Royal single malt. If Crown Royal would like to sponsor me, please get a hold of me at Moen After Dark on Twitter. It would be much appreciated. I would just take product. You don't even have to pay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So,
yeah, let's stop. Let's stop now. No more.
I love all you guys. Love the chat. Best community on YouTube. Hopefully we get some more members after this, and it'll be great.
I'm just waiting for that admin email I'm going to get from YouTube any second. I'm looking forward in my inbox. Tony Lawson says, Moen After Drunk, go Grief. Georgia Tech and Texas A&M will be having the red carpet rolled out. All right. Well, there you go. I want to thank everybody again. Make sure you follow us, all that fun stuff. Our next show was Sunday night. Moen After Dark will be on
Sunday at
9 o'clock Eastern, a little bit later than our other shows. And then follow that up with our Monday show, Big Ten Mafia. And then the Tuesday show is really the one I'm going to sell all over the weekend. That's going to be our data-heavy show. And we're really going to compare nuts to nuts on what we're doing here for realignment and sort of settle that debate as we go into this coming season. We appreciate everybody that's been here tonight. If you've been drinking, do not drive. Everybody stay out of trouble. Have a good evening. And I will see everybody on Tuesday, hopefully. I'll be back for that Tuesday show. We appreciate you. See you later. Have a great weekend. Peace out.
Go Utes.